Oh, hello.
Well,
How's everyone doing today?
what's going on? Yes, how y'all doing? Yes, hi. Yummy. Oh,
It's so
oh,
lovely to see all of you. I'm so excited. I could just spit.
oh, what's going on?
Hey,
It's
Lola. Hey,
Wednesday.
Dylan.
Hey. So, Lola, you was first one here today? Is that what I'm saying?
Lola was, Lola was the very first one here today. Yes.
Come on, Lola. She is going from logging in 15 minutes before we over to now being the
Actually,
first
I'm
one.
sorry. It's the person. It's from the bottom up. So Dylan was actually the first person here.
All right, all right, all right. Either way is
Sorry
good.
about
They
that,
both
Dylan.
here.
You get a prize. Our undying affection.
Y'all are here, here, and here. That's what we need. And we are glad that you are here, here, and here.
We're super excited to be here. Oh, you know what? I forgot to do my well, I didn't have time to do the Grammy fashion recap, but we can go on Vogue's website and see the fashions.
Okay. Well, all right.
We got
Hey,
a lot to
Solar
get
Boy.
to. I feel like we should just get into it.
Well, come on. I mean, listen, let's make it happen.
I mean, how was your week?
Listen, my week was good, but it was not a Grammy filled week. Like I wasn't at the Grammys. I didn't have to change outfits 3, 4, 5 times. I didn't have to worry about, my part of my dress showing my bosom like Miss Tayana Taylor did, because she was just a
Yes,
sticker over the
it
nipple.
was it happened. She looked good though. She looked really
Oh,
good.
let me be very clear. She looked amazing. And it's almost like it's
Yes.
the upgraded adult version of what Little Kim did years ago. With the
Right.
with the just a little applique on the but yeah, but it's been a good week. Have had a really good past couple of days. At this point, every day I wake up, I'm good. So I'm very happy about that. So that's just where I'm at. But it's been a good week. I mean, besides the cold, the ice, I have not fallen, thank the Lord. But
Hallelujah.
yeah, because listen, I've seen people and I hear people some of the stories they talk about and the way people fall, and I just remember, one of the worst falls I ever had, and I was in college. So listen, we had a lot of elasticity in the skin, the joints was tight, and everything was, and I was able to kind of keep my balance up.
Keep talking. I realized I got on work gear. I got to change shirts.
Yeah. But I was able to keep my balance up out in the middle of the street, and I was doing that little dance where you get ready to fall down, and I had on a long coat and a mail messenger bag, and so as I'm going to the side, the bag is going to the side. I'm going to the left side, the bag is going, it's hitting me in the leg, and I'm trying to fight to stay up, but I got to keep everything together because I got this pea coat on, or this toggle coat on, and I was trying to be cute, and I was trying to make it to class, but baby, when I shifted this way and that way, and then I was in the middle of the street, there wasn't a soul out there, but I know there was someone looking out their window and saw me fighting for my life. And I finally did go down. But baby, when I got down, it was one of those things we were like, bitch, I give up. That's it. I give up. I'm fucking, I'm just laughing. Because I was like, bitch, I can't do nothing else. I got up and I fell again, and then I got my ass up, and I don't even know if I went to class or if I just decided to go back in the house. I was done. I was like,
at some point, just like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm over it.
Yeah, like it was like I can't go out. I can't go on. I can't go on.
I can't do no more.
Right. So that's all that. But my neighbors in Shady Side at that time, baby, they saw me doing. It was a whole treat to watch that from the window, I'm sure. So
I imagine.
So, but I'm happy about this balmy, 40? Did we make it to 40 this week? I think it was.
I think so. When we were down in single digits over the weekend.
Yeah, we made it up to a balmy 40 degrees. So, we doing our thing. We hanging in there. But that was me. It was good. Work is work, and Don't really have too much to say about work at this particular point. It just work. So, but that was my week. How was yours?
Well, it was bitterly cold, as we know. We already had the snow. Child, I've been in the house so long. I was like, when did it snow again?
Exactly. Listen,
Because I was like, how long have I been in this house? And so, but so Thursday night after I got my hair cut. Hello?
yeah, I'm here. Why is the camera out? Okay.
Your camera's off.
No.
Yes, your
Okay.
camera is off. Yeah, there we go.
Well, here's the funny thing. I actually hit the letter on the keyboard. That's why But go ahead.
So I decided that I was going to make me some homemade chicken stock. So I was at Lidl and I bought a package of whole chicken wings, cut those into the flat, the drum, and the tip.
Tips.
Salt and pepper, threw that in the oven for like an hour till it was caramelized. Put that into a pot, put some hot water on the pan to scrape up all the caramelized bits, threw that in. I had some dill, I had some parsley, some cilantro, some garlic, some mirepoix, the kitchen sink, threw all of that in and let that bubble away for 11 and a half hours. Yeah. Meanwhile, it was supposed to be down in single digits. And every other night, this single digits again. Every other night last week, I, left the water trickling, and I had the water trickling that night. But when I got up at 3 o'clock in the morning to finally strain out the vegetables and set the stock up, or finish with the stock, I ran some water, and then I turned the water all the way off. And when I got up on Saturday morning, the pipes were frozen. So I turned the water off at the main, and I was just like, this has happened before. It should be fine. No big deal. I went about my life. I had taken, one of my now luxurious dark showers. So I was good. So Friday, Saturday, and I didn't do nothing. So I was just, fucking around. Saturday, fucking around. I knew it was still in the single digits. So Sunday, I was like, all right, fucking around. And I do have 4 toilets in the house. So, we was good for a while. And then it was supposed to start warming up on Monday, but the water wasn't coming back on. It was like a little dribble, a little drabble. So I was like, okay, so the pipes are unfreezing and whatever. But by like Tuesday, it was supposed to be, it was like in the 40s. So I was like, let's go. And, so at some point I was like, bitch, I hadn't gone anywhere, but still I was like, I haven't had a shower since Friday. And here we are Tuesday afternoon. And I was like, I got to go into work tomorrow. And, I don't want to smell like some of these girls because some of these construction workers be odiferous.
A little bit of sleep.
I was like, well, Planet Fitness is right down the street. She stay open 24 hours. I could go take a shower and maybe have a date at the same time. So,
Well, and I was saying, but you could have came here, took a shower, but either way.
I know I could have, but you are much farther away than the Planet Fitness. And so as I was, finally getting my mind right that I was going to need to schlep out into this cold, I got to bring a towel, I got to bring soap, everything that I need. And then I was like, bitch, did I ever turn the water back on? So I go downstairs into the basement, and sure enough, here is the pipe, right? And the pipe need to be like this, or the handle need to be like this for the water to be on, because that's straight through. When you do it like this, that closes the little valve. I go downstairs, the valve is like this, and I was like, motherfucker. Here I am pissing in little jars and shit and pouring it in the sink because I'm like, because the toilet won't flush. The fuck? I am collecting fucking snow water, so I flush the fucking toilet and everything, and the water's probably been on for at least a day and a half. I was like, motherfucker. That's why I texted you. I was like, I am dumb.
Hey, because I couldn't figure out when I got the text message. I was like, so I'm gonna just let this go because he's gonna tell me what this is. Like I know eventually, but I was like, what the? No, I'm gonna let that go.
Yeah, so I was like, the fuck. But I didn't tell everybody I didn't tell my coworkers the part about, peeing in the sink or whatever. But I did say, I was like, I forgot to turn the water back on. That's why it was frozen. It was legitimately frozen on Saturday morning because I came and, I went to go brush my teeth and the water wasn't fucking on. And it was almost certainly frozen all day Saturday and most of the day on Sunday. But by Monday, it was probably unfrozen. But here I was, forgot to turn the water off. But, when I told Pap, he was like, oh, yeah, I've done that before. I even told like one of the construction workers that I work with, he was like, you ain't the only person. He said, I've done that several times. Because if it goes on for more than like a day, it becomes your standard condition. And so you forget that there's a main pipe that you got to turn on and off. And because, when it's frozen like that, at least the advice that I saw was like, you should turn the water. Well, they said you should run a blow dryer over the pipe to thaw it out. But I was like, my pipes are all buried in the wall. So I couldn't do that even if I wanted to.
You turn the heat up in your house to a higher temperature.
I turned the heat up in the house. And so it ultimately was fine. But I was like, motherfucker. I was pissed.
Well,
because I was literally like, and I'm supposed to have like dates coming over this weekend, and I was like,
would have been as well.
Bro, what the fuck is supposed to happen? I was like, so the date come over, and he was like, once I finish, doing everything that I'm gonna do, now he's like, hey, I need to use your bathroom. I was like, well,
like that's a great idea, but we're gonna table that for a minute. How about that?
Right, this is part of the scene. You just gotta hold it till you get back to your own house.
And there it is. That's
what
we're doing.
So that was my weekend. Although I will say that I had 2 full 5-gallon bottles of water from like when I had the water dispenser. So and I had a little battery operated pump. So I had plenty of drinking water to cook with, and everything. I just didn't have like water to shower with or to flush the toilet. So, but we got it all together. But I will say, so I had like 2.5 gallons of chicken stock.
And
I made some chicken noodle soup on Saturday. It was so fucking good. And I got some downstairs souping right now. So I'll have some for you on Saturday.
Listen, I will always take a little bit of, because listen, I went to go cook and I didn't have any, the chicken broth was expired. I was like, what? But then I had like bouillon cubes that I tried to, I made it with that instead. But I some good old broth would actually work. Yeah, I think I'm gonna actually do something else.
I've actually made some soup with it. So I made it doesn't have any meat in it. It's chicken broth, lots of vegetables, and little pastina. So it's just like, it's what I wanted. I wanted. So, but anyway, so that's that. So
as long as she tastes wonderful. Good, as long as she tastes good, and I'm sure she does. Maybe listen, I will always do a little thing of rice and put a little. Listen, I don't care what nobody say. Chicken and rice is always one of my favorites. Like that's just a favorite. Like the juice and the broth and if it's little pieces of rice and stuff. Listen, it works for me. It's perfect.
Right. So we got a lot of videos today. We actually have 5, 10, 15. We're not going to go through all 19 of these videos, but we're going to go through because I have just been stockpiling them now. So
well, no, I mean, that's where we are at this particular point. As long as we have time, if we're ahead of the curve with the videos, we got stuff. We got enough. We good.
Right.
We
All
good.
right, so let me get ready. Get us ready.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-da. Morning. Oh, there we go.
Okay, it's she's a little slow. I need to switch over this computer to the other computer so she's a little faster.
Let's get it, bro. Re-up the replay. Yeah, yeah. What's the weird piece? Oh, weird piece. Oh, my bad, dog. Oh, man, what you trying to hit, man? Weird piece. Yeah. Weird piece. You in it. Weird piece. Weird piece. Oh, weird piece, dog.
So about that, I will just say
Let's get it, bro. Re-up.
Why would you wear your hold on, why would you wear your toupee to the fight? Now, you know what the craziest part about this is? He won this fight. The guy that got his toupee knocked off, he came back and beat the shit out of this guy, apparently. But no one knows that because all people know is that that's the dude that lost his toupee. Because apparently, now I didn't watch it.
Do you have any
Yeah, you were breaking up. I can't hear anything you're saying.
Hold on.
Girl, we got dead air. What are you doing?
I'm right here. And you can hear me down. Right. Can you hear me again? I don't know.
Yes, I can hear you, but you got to get what are you doing? We have to bring the BGKH Show IT team over to Gay Boy Mansion Studio E to get you together.
Ready.
All right, so next.
All right, brother, head to the gym. See you later. Love you.
Wait a minute, babe. Come here.
Hey.
You got on that crown skin?
Yeah, baby, I wear it every day.
But why you waiting to the gym?
Baby, I'm putting on my body butter. Like, I get out the shower, I wear it every day. What are you talking about?
But to the gym, that stuff is formulated to attract. So what are you wearing?
I'm not trying to attract nobody. I'm just taking care of my skin. I'm putting it on. Like, come on, yo. I get out the shower. I want to put my body butter on. I don't want to, you know what I'm saying?
You don't need to wear that to the gym. Give it here.
What are you talking
Give it
about?
here. Give it here. Y'all need to be taking no shower, putting this on there.
So so here's my thought on that. The reason that he is wearing his sexy crown butter scent to the gym is because it's niggas at the gym. And I think his wife knows that, because otherwise, why would she give a shit? I mean, yes, are there women at the gym too? Yeah. But it's niggas at the gym. That's why he's wearing it. Oh, and by the way, have you seen all the commercials on for Crown Skin? You know, they got the the cologne body butter and all of that. I bought the little sampler pack, which I will let you smell. They actually do smell really good, but they have 5 different scents. And for the life of me, I cannot. They all smell really good, but I was hard pressed to tell one scent from another. Which is fine in a way, because it means I could get any of them and know that it'll smell good. But none of them is like, oh, well, this is very, sort of springtime and light, and this is more musky. They all smell good.
And this is Crown.
Yeah, go look up Crown Skin.
Okay. Go ahead.
So,
because I don't think I've
any snooze.
Go ahead. Because I don't think I've
So, in honor of Black History Month,
When dustpans were first invented, people had to bend down and sweep up the dirt from the floor. But eventually, a foundational Black American inventor added a longer handle to the dustpan so that people don't have to break their backs when sweeping up the dirt. His name was Lloyd Ray. The impact of foundational Black Americans is all around us. Follow and love.
No one.
that woman actually, her website, I'm gonna go back to
when
it.
dustpans were first invented,
She has a website called FBA, Foundational Black Americans, and all of these inventions like the dustpan, the fucking key ring, you know, the tension key ring that we use, that was invented by a Black person. So it's all of these little, and her website is FBA, and her
I didn't know
that. FBA is Foundational Black Americans. So that I live with, and you know, I want to come out of the closet, you know, with my affliction.
No one talks about the struggles of having expensive taste. It is very difficult when you love a piece of furniture or art or clothing and then find out it's thousands of dollars. And people say, oh, there's a dupe on Amazon. It's exactly the same. It's not the same to me. I can feel the difference. I have a physical aversion to cheap.
I mean, I mean, people be like, oh, you know, that $4,000 sofa, they have a dupe on Amazon. And I'm like, girl, it is not the same. She don't fit the same. It's the same as if someone was like, Hermes bag. And they're like, oh, but they got this look just like an Hermes bag. I was like, but does it?
I get it. I absolutely get it, and I do the same daggone thing. I absolutely get it, and I do the same daggone thing.
Apparently, we're pausing and breaking up when the videos come. I think this particular method isn't working because it's going to use too much resources. So we will come back to this next week. All right, okay. We'll stop there.
And we're back.
And we're back. Oh, so we are going to, you know, so last week you also came out of the closet to secretly watching Drag Race.
I did. And so just to be clear, I have been watching Drag Race, and we are now in the 18th season. Episode number 5 and number 6 will be airing on Friday. And I just said I was going to give you guys a quick recap and catch you guys up. So do you want to pull up the PowerPoint and I can show you some of the pictures?
Yeah, let me try. I'm trying to
because if not, I'll still talk through it. But you know, with some of the scenes in Drag Race, some of them are better when you can see some of the visuals. But anyway, while you're pulling that up
now.
Yeah, while you're pointing it up, let's talk about some of the queens. So we had 14 queens that came onto the season this time. So you had queens from Miami, Boston, LA, Florida, Pennsylvania, Colorado, Alabama. They were all over the place. So Athena Dion, she was from Miami, Florida. She is probably one of the, I guess you could say, the matriarch of the Love Dion family. And so there's a girl on this show this particular season, Morphine Love Dion. And she is actually the daughter of the other young Dion that was on last season. I'm sorry. Morphine was on last season. Juicy Love Dion is on this season. Juicy Love Dion is one of the daughters or granddaughters of Athena and Morphine and all that good stuff. So again, there's a family pair on here. You also have a girl named Briar Blush from Boston, Massachusetts. Sierra Mist, Darlene Mitchell, who gives me very much of like, and I'm going to say this and to just so you get the visuals, I would say probably the Ozarks and the TV show The Ozark, the young lady who was pale with the blonde hair, she lived in like a trailer park. So Darlene Mitchell feels like she would fit right in that background. Like her aesthetic, her drag, and she's really campy and funny and all that good type of stuff. But again, that's where she kind of falls in at. But I think she's hilarious. Didi Fuego is a New York queen. There's a girl in here by the name of Jane Dote, who's from Seattle, Washington. Like I said, Juicy Love Dion. And there's another girl in here from South Carolina. Another South Carolina girl named Kenya Pleaser. She is, I guess she's one of the big girls for the season. Mandy Mango, we have a Philadelphia girl that's there. Mia Starr from West Palm Beach. Mikey Meeks, Nene Coco, Vita Von Teese from Montgomery, Alabama. And listen, you've seen all their pictures and stuff. Like, let's just get right into it. They all represent a whole bunch of different styles. The ages are a little bit higher this time, and the professionalism is a little bit, the level is a little bit higher. So again, they're all here, but again, they're all good. They're all good. They're good drama already. So listen, like I said, we're coming up on scenes on episode 6, but let me just give you a quick recap. Episode 1. So it's the premiere, it's the challenge.
Am I flipping through these or something?
Yeah, we can go. Yeah, we can go through it. Well, hold on. Go back to episode 1. So yeah, episode 1. This is showing you the challenge was going back to the basics, where they're creating original runway looks from like, I don't want to say trash, but then other vaulted materials that they had on the show. So basically, like almost like the trash challenge, where you just pick up non-conventional stuff and make looks out of it. You had Nene Coco and Vita Von Teese, who came out as the 2 top contenders, and Nene Coco is in the orange on the left, and Vita Von Teese is in the black and white on the right. They both made these from the things that were left over in the vault, and believe it or not, Nene Coco in the orange, her dress is made out of paper. So if you remember Lala Ree and the paper bags, so it's like, this is what it could have looked like.
Right.
But then Vita, who is the bomb diggity with a sewing machine and a needle and thread, she put this whole thing together from these umbrellas, these black and white umbrellas, and made this gown, which was absolutely gorgeous. The winner of that particular season, of that particular episode, was Nene Coco in the orange, so the dress made out of paper. This episode also had Cardi B, who was a judge on the show, and she came back and talked to the girls, whatever, and she brought back 2 of her stylist and I think her wig maker. Oh my gosh, Tokyo Valentine, and I cannot remember the other young lady's name, but they were there with her, and so they were all just sitting here just talking to the girls, had a couple questions with her, but it was cute. Cardi came. I didn't care for Cardi's look because she was giving me Street Fighter meets video game vixen, and it just didn't quite work for me. But hey, listen, she's Cardi B, and listen, I got nothing to say about that. She on Drag Race, I'm not. Episode 2, the next week, they did this thing called these Q-pop girls, and they had divided the girls up into, and I'm sorry, that first week, no one went home. They had no elimination and no one went home. Second week episode, they're doing Q-pop girls, and they have the girls divide up into groups and make it into 3 different groups. They had a disco group, they had a pop group, they also had a punk group. And so yeah, on episode 2. So this is the name. So one group's name was Glam. Go. I'm sorry, no, the the pop group's name was Glam. The song that they made was Go Go Go, and this represented pop. So these actual songs are now on iTunes and available for download, and you can actually listen to them. But this was the one of the Q-pop girls and their group and their song. Next slide. So if you go on to the next one, you can see that there is the punk group. Their song was named Cherries, and their group was called the Tuckaways. And in this group was Vita Von Teese, Star, Briar Blush, Juicy Love Dion, Jane Don't, and Discord Adams. So that's the name of that group. And in the first group, I didn't say that everybody was listed in there, but it was Athena Dion, Didi Fuego, Darlene Mitchell, and Mandy Mango. That was in the first group. So the next group was the last group, which was the disco group, and they called themselves Studio 50 Whores, and their song was Funk Almighty, and that included, like I said, Athena Dion, Didi Fuego, Darlene Mitchell, Mandy Mango in that particular group. Or did I just say that twice? I think I did say that twice. I'm sorry. They're in the disco group, and the pop group was Nene Coco, Mia Star, Sierra Mist, Mikey Meeks, and Kenya Pleaser. So I'm sorry, I'm reading. I can't read I need to put my glasses on, but I'm not right now. Anyway. The runway theme was queer-centric runway looks. They did have a winner because they had a lip sync competition between Didi Fuego and Mandy Mango, and Didi Fuego was eliminated. So if you go on to the next slide. All right, okay. So what I want to point out in this picture, and I don't know if you can see this or not, because it might be kind of small on your television. Mandy Mango is over here on the left, and she is supposed to be a table, like a table that you would see in the entrance of your house, where you kind of put like a nightstand or like, I mean, a night light, and maybe just drop your keys on it. She's literally, her dress and top are supposed to look like a table. And then on the right, you have the winner of this particular season. I'm sorry, not season, of this particular episode and this particular challenge, which was Jane Don't. And if you look at the picture really quickly, it looks like a mouth and a tongue. That's Jane Don't. That was her look. That's what she came up with. And she was also, of the girl groups, her group won, which was the group that did the Cherries, and they were the punk group. But she also won for that particular week, so she kind of stood out as well. There was a lip sync between the bottom two, and the lip sync, like I said, was Mandy Mango and Didi Fuego, and Didi Fuego was eliminated. I'm getting all confused. I apologize, y'all. I'm going through this. I'm trying to catch up. All right, so here we go. Episode 3. On to the next slide. RuPaul's Drag Race, or RDR Live, returns. And so they had to do a sketch comedy challenge. The sketch comedy challenge was like little mini skits like they did on SNL. And then they had to come out on a runway theme that was an animal attraction runway. And so this is just a couple of the people that I thought were like the tops. And the one young lady in the blue and black, that is Nene Coco. The other young lady that's in the white, that's Athena Dion, who is really giving Chanel vibes, if you remember season 1. And then in the bottom left is Vita Von Teese in this badass leopard look, which was like a bodysuit and a hood and everything else. It was bad. But the winner of this particular week, because of how she did in the challenge and also with the runway, that was actually Juicy Love Dion. And she came dressed as this particular animal, which was a pangolin, which I had never heard of before. And I was like, oh my gosh. But the dress was gorgeous because it was like these metallic pieces or like little leaves that were all put together and then kind of sewn into a dress. It looked amazing. Like, it looked absolutely amazing on her. But she actually won that particular evening with the comedy challenge and everything else. Episode 4, they did this thing where they called it red carpet mashups. And so on episode 4, they would have all these queens, queens as well as celebrities and other queens, if you will, that came through with these iconic looks. So they did like Lady Gaga with the meat dress. They did like Little Kim with the one titty out. They also did like J-Lo, but then they mixed it with somebody else like Lil Nas X. And then they also mixed that with like just 2 other people. The contestants had to then come up with a look that was a combination of, or their best interpretation of what that combination was. So in the upper left-hand corner, you see Kenya Pleaser in this red and blue dress, and you see in the blue dress with the red gloves as well as boots. She was imitating a piece of the meat dress by Lady Gaga, and then Kenya was imitating, I can't remember who else she was combined with. But anyway, these were their looks. They none of them blew my hair back at all. None of them, except for Vita Von Teese. She had the Little Kim, or the combination between Little Kim and somebody else, but her and Mia Starr were put together, and they came up with this look. Vita Von Teese's gown, the way she made this in, like, again, for the season, is absolutely amazing. Oh, and Katy Perry, that's what it was. It was Little Kim and Katy Perry. And so somehow they put this combination together. You see Mia Starr out here with this half a boob hanging out, but you also see Vita Von Teese with this gown. I agree with the judges. I don't particularly care for this little white piece, but again, she looked amazing, and it was absolutely flawless. I'm going to give a special shout out to our girl down here in the lower left hand corner with that was a combination between J-Lo and I can't remember who else, but this cat suit that she has on and this green draping of this fabric was so simple, but it was really, really nice. And so I thought she was a top contender. But this week, with the guest judge, who was Law Roach, and Law don't really sit too well with me sometimes. Like I don't have his fashion sense and all that good stuff, but baby, I don't like the way he talks to the girls. And sometimes it don't work for me sometimes. But they voted that Vita actually won that particular week, and I agreed with them because she actually did look the best. She did very well, and I just thought it was a great night for her. So she finally got that win because, again, that first look with the black and white, she didn't win. She was in the top 2, but she just didn't win. There is an elimination that involved the bottom 2, which was Kenya Pleaser and Briar Blush. Briar Blush is in this picture here in the yellow, where it looks like she's kind of leaning over to the right. Well, at this point on stage, Briar Blush was about to pass out, and she literally passed out on stage. We don't know why, probably because of the heat and all this other stuff, maybe. But again, she was about to pass out, and they literally caught this picture of her like leaning because they were talking to her, and she was like spacing out. And she was just like, "What?" And she was like leaning, and she kind of leaned into Juicy Love Dion, and she kind of fell, and then she wanted to fall. She was all on the stage, whatever. But it was hilarious. When she came back, she did have to do the lip sync, and she was eliminated because she went up against Kenya Pleaser, which was the young lady in the red dress, the big girl with the red hair. So, bye, Briar. So sad that you had to go. Glad you were on the show, but it was great seeing you. Last week, episode 5 was the Raider Queen talent show. And it's, any of you remember the talent show, it's usually where they will either roast people, they've done these presentations, they've done these dance numbers, these original songs. If you remember the season where Aja was on, that's where she was up on the stage. She ran and jumped up and did this dip from like 9 feet up in the air. Mariah Balenciaga did this whole thing with the white dress and the red paint, where she's painting all over. So again, it was a talent show as far as that's concerned. And she split it up so that half of the cast went this week, and next week, which will be starting on Friday, the next cast will go, and the losers from each week will then have to battle this Friday to see who's going to be eliminated. But in this season 5 episode, the standouts in this were Juicy Love Dion, who is actually in the middle in this tulip dress. And also, I want to give a shout out to Nene Coco, who did this. She had this viral moment on social media where she was performing as a reptile, and she kind of ripped the reptile's head off, and she kind of reenacted it on stage. So that was her talent. Darlene Mitchell, who is down here in the lower left-hand corner, she did this really cute, punny type of song where she's playing with words and talking about tools and pushing it and using it. It was so campy, but it was so like trailer park-ish, but at the same time, it was cute at the same time. But the best part of this episode had to have been the lip sync between Mia Starr, who is this young lady squatting down this Little Kim pose, and Juicy Love Dion over here on the left. Juicy Love Dion did an original song, so did Mia Starr, and they're also connected from a Florida standpoint, and they're kind of related. So she kind of calls her TT, her aunt, and so they had to go up against one another. Now, just a little background information: Mia Starr in her former life was a background dancer and has danced with Gaga, Rihanna. Like, she's been on tour with like a whole bunch of people, and she's a phenomenal dancer. But Juicy Love Dion is a phenomenal 20-something-year-old young lady that is flexible, stretchy, and everything. So this battle, this lip sync here, was amazing. It was amazing. So if you haven't watched any episode, definitely go back and watch that episode, because the lip sync is definitely worth it. Those two went up against each other, and it was actually a tie. But you have to go back and watch the lip sync. But it was actually a tie. But
tie?
Exactly, it was a tie. And so neither one of them, like I said, was going to go home. But like I said, the person who was the least talented from that group is going to go against the person from next week's group, and then they're going to have to battle out, and they're going to go home. But I also just want to put out here that with the Raider Queen episode, all the queens then had to go backstage in private and select the ratings of each of the people that competed that week, where they placed, whether it was first, second, third, fourth, fifth, or whatever. And so that's going to tabulate their rankings, and that's going to tabulate possibly who may be in the bottom and who may need to lip sync as well. So that's giving you a quick catch up as far as RuPaul is concerned for season 18, episodes 1 through 5. And for season 6, I'll give you some more pictures, and I'll make it all about season 6, and I'll give you some more information about that. But that's just to bring up the speed, where we are. And that was a mouthful, and I did it, and it was a little bit jumbled because I haven't been doing it for a minute, but here we are. Now I'm back in the groove.
He did it.
Yay!
He did it.
So that's where we are. Yeah. Did you want to? So I can jump into a couple of stories that are interesting as well while we're here.
Yes. I need to figure out how to exit out of this.
Okay. Well, while you're doing that, so listen. Some sad news. Catherine O'Hara, the star of Home Alone and Schitt's Creek, and she was known for many other things, including Beetlejuice and a couple other shows. She passed away. She was 71. She died on Friday, January 30th, at her home in LA following a brief illness. At least that's what her agency said in their statement. Like I said, she was in Beetlejuice. She played Delia Dietz. She was in Home Alone, where she did that one-word movie line, Kevin, because she played the mom. She was in several other films alongside Eugene Levy, but this is what brought her into one of her latest roles, which I think was absolutely iconic, as Moira Rose in Schitt's Creek. She actually won a Golden Globe for that performance. And again, we're going to miss her. And I don't know if many of you remember this, and if you're in this age bracket, but she was also on SCTV with Eugene Levy. I remember from that, but she was a writer then on the show. So listen, Miss Catherine O'Hara has always been in the money, and she's been making money. And unfortunately, she's no longer here, but she does leave a family, which consists of her husband, Bo, and 2 sons, Matthew and Luke. So our condolences to her family. And I'm going to miss that young lady, because she was absolutely hilarious.
Yes, she was.
Also sad news, Damon Wilson, and actually Grady Damon Wilson, who was the actor that portrayed Lamont Sanford in NBC's Sanford and Son, he died as well on Friday, January 30th. He was 79. But he died following some complications from cancer. No specific type of cancer was actually mentioned. But again, he's no longer with us. As a child, he danced on Broadway and later graced the stage of Harlem's Apollo Theater by his early teens. He wound up going into the service and serving in the Vietnam War, and he was wounded in action. And then when he returned home, that's when he started acting. His big break came with Sanford and Son, which aired from 1972 to 1977. And his portrayal of Lamont Sanford helped him anchor the sitcom. And remember that this was an adaptation of the British series Steptoe and Son. So he married Cicely Johnson, who is a former model and was in a couple of movies, and notoriously was in Caged Heat. And they had 6 kids together: Christopher, Damon Jr., Louise, Sarah, Nicole, and Melissa. So listen, rest in peace. Our condolences to Damon's family as well. I also want to report that there is a video that is going that is out in the social media world of this older gentleman holding a gun, walking towards and with this Black woman, and you can see that she's trying to get away from him. Well, this 83-year-old man in Ohio is likely going to spend the rest of his life behind bars because he shot this Uber driver, and her name was Lolitha Hall. He was convicted on all charges, including murder and felonious assault and kidnapping. Now, he testified that he shot Hall in self-defense, telling the jury that he believed there was a scheme to kill him and his family. And even in the video, it talks about how he got scammed, and they even made reference to the fact that she got scammed by somebody in a similar way. But at the end of the day, she lost her life and he was the cause of it. And unfortunately, he is serving 21 years to life in this prison. We don't know if he's going to get paroled or not, but he's 83. And at this particular point, this is where he is. In other sad news, we also are losing an icon on the TV show, Sherri Shepherd. Her daytime talk show has been canceled, and it's been after 4 seasons. Now, she started in September 2022 when she was guest hosting for the Wendy Williams show. She won a daytime Emmy in 2009 for her time on The View, where she was a full-time co-host from 2007 to 2014. But we're going to miss her as well. But also during that week, Kelly Clarkson announced that her daytime show, The Kelly Clarkson Show, was going to be ending after 7 seasons. She's quoted her reasons as prioritizing her children and spending time with them. Whereas with Sherri, they were saying that there was a change in the landscape with television talk shows and so forth and so on, but she's been canceled, unfortunately. Some other good news. Do you remember the Roots You Got Me? And it had Jill Scott, or I'm sorry, it had an Erykah Badu, but the demo had Jill Scott. But there was also a rapper on there, a young lady who at the time I thought was either Jill or Erykah, whichever version you were listening to. But it was not. It was Eve. And on January 29th, she finally received her second career Grammy at the Recording Academy Honors. And again, it was for her verse in You Got Me.
Wild to me that happened.
Right. So they said, the Roots was a part of, which is on the song as well. She had a conversation with Questlove, and he was saying that they were extremely inconsiderate and so insular and non-communicative with each other at that particular point in time, that stuff always spilled out. And he said that he never wanted to have her think that we wanted to erase her out of history. And so he apologized for that. And this is what they were talking. They were on a podcast, I think it was. They were talking about that. And so he apologized for that. But the Harvey Mason Jr. from he's the Recording Academy president. He said that when he learned about the story, it was really simple. We just needed to make it right, and it was a chance for us to make it right. So again, that's why they wound up issuing the Grammy for her. And Eve, in her acceptance speech, something that she said, which again, I'm always going to shout out some people from Philly, but she said, "This is actually for little Eve from Philly, the little girl who loved to write rhymes and just wanted to be in the business. I'm truly, truly grateful to be in this room with all of you here, all the greats, people who inspired me, my peers. I remember when y'all called me, I was a little tipsy. I had a few martinis out with a friend, and I was kind of like, wow, what is yours can never miss you, even 30 years later. So I'm truly grateful for this." Listen, congratulations, Eve. Take that home to your hubby and your son and enjoy it, because baby, listen, you deserved it. Because when they won, you should have won at that particular point. But here we are now, we're making it right. Last story of the day, Sha'Carri Richardson. We love that young lady, but I'm gonna need her to stay out of the spotlight. She just got arrested and was charged with speeding in Florida on Thursday. And according to the law enforcement, she was arrested for allegedly going 104 miles per hour on a parkway just outside of Orlando. The spokesperson for the Orange County Sheriff's Department says she was dangerously tailgating and traveling across lanes to travel and pass other motorists. She was arrested, she was released, and she is out. But Sha'Carri, girl,
please.
Do we have to wrap you up in bubble wrap and make sure you stay chained inside of a cell somewhere just so you can not harm yourself? Oh my gosh. But anyway,
not so much harm yourself, but stop doing stupid shit.
and harming herself and harming her career. How about that?
Well, yes, definitely harming her career.
So,
well, that's about it. But I do have 2 videos, so let me just get them together. What is going on here? What's happening?
I don't know. We're having it's a weird internet night.
Yeah, it's something going on. So I need to. You just vamp. I will get it together.
I am talking to you and you and you and you. Oh, talk about the lip syncs. Oh, so yes, the lip syncs. So before you go into that lip sync that I mentioned, like I said, between Mia Star and...
How do you do? I'm not quite sure. You're much prettier.
Sorry, keep going.
The lip sync I was talking about between Mia Star and Juicy Love Dion was definitely a highlight of this season so far. It's probably going to go down as one of those lip syncs, like on like a top 10 or top 15 or top 20 reel type of thing, because it was really good. There were some reveals, but again, Juicy is a consummate professional, and Mia was dancing her ass off. So it was very hard to make a decision. And baby, I agreed with it totally. The week that Kenya did her lip sync, listen, I watch out for the big girl, because baby, she came through and she did what she's supposed to do. But baby, I want these big girls to stop throwing these splits and kicks unnecessarily. I'm not saying that it was unnecessary for her to do the split and the kick, but I just felt like, did it fit the song? Is it really like, is it the apex of the performance? And it's the placement of it for me. That's what I'm most concerned with. But other than that, it was still a decent lip sync. The other lip syncs so far have been okay, but that one was definitely a highlight. I just want to make sure you get that one. But come on.
Okay. All right. Well, so this one,
How
this
do
clip
you
is
do?
always.
I'm not quite sure. You're much prettier than I expected.
Hold on, let me get it started.
How do you do? How do you do? I'm not quite sure. You're much prettier than I expected. And you're much less beat up than you have a right to be.
Can we just take for a moment? Can we just for a moment?
The face card never
when I
declined.
tell you, this woman is absolutely
Elizabeth Taylor was gorgeous.
Like, it is amazing. Like, this white woman is listen, I don't even know, like, like, beauty-wise, is this where Joan Collins gets it from? Because listen, Joan Collins was another one of the most, to me, I thought she was a gorgeous woman. And not that she's gone, or I mean, not that she's older and unattractive, but baby, when she was popping, and baby, Elizabeth Taylor is stunning.
Beyond stunning. And get into the dialogue.
How do you do? I'm not quite sure. You're much prettier than I expected. And you're much less beat up than you have a right to be.
It was the look up and down, like.
But wait, but you're not even noticing But you're not even noticing the slightly raised eyebrows. It's just
bitch, I caught it. I caught it.
Hair. It's just like.
Like, and how do you do? And the last one. Now, this song is a motherfucking bop.
I paint trade. 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 Who he gon' tell? Who he gon' tell? I paint trade. I paint trade. I paint trade. go to hell before he tells. I paint trade.
For if you didn't understand the words, she said that she paints trade. Cause who he gonna tell? He will go to hell before he tells.
Listen.
Now, you know, this young lady is a woman of trans experience, which she talks about on her page. So I'm not like spilling her tea or making whatever. And so she is, I don't know if she stayed at T.S. Madison's house or if
she did her makeup and her hair first, then she started doing her makeup.
Okay, I thought because I saw her in the video and she was talking about how she met Maddie and everything, so I wasn't sure if she actually lived in that house. You know, she turned her house into a space for the kids.
She moved from Florida. She moved from Florida to Atlanta and has her own spot. But yes, and she was doing that because she needed to be closer to Maddie at the time because she was doing, like I said, I remember her starting with her hair. And then I think she's doing her makeup, but she's still attached to her in that makeup or artist spot, doing hair and or makeup.
Gotcha. Yeah, so
she's funny.
I just love this video.
Yeah, but wait a minute. But you know what? You know this reminds me of this is how I fell in love with a couple different songs. Like so, this is cute too. But you know, my other one that I've friggin' love at this particular point from social media is. I'm in Detroit with Khadijah.
Yes, Detroit with Khadijah is a bop. I had that one too.
Baby, I love that.
So, well, this was a short show, but actually, I think you all should get used to us sticking to about an hour and 15 minutes. You know, we're going to have to start learning a little television discipline. You know, the Today Show is a solid 2 hours, and then the Today Show, so shows have to be within a time frame. Plus, girl, you know, that gives us time to live our lives. So next week we have something very special. International Mr. Leather 2024 Jamal will be here to talk to us, and it's going to be the debut of the BGKH Show, This or That.
You can get with this or you can get with that. You can get with this or you can get with that.
You can get with this or you can get with that. Or you can get with this because this is kind of fat.
I'm here for it. I'm looking forward to
it. So with that, I will say thank you all. I really do. I personally do appreciate you and you and you and you. And you.
Thank y'all for coming out. God bless you and good night.